I have had the privilege as CEO of the SBA, first executive director, then CEO, to work with 8 ministers. Yes, you see that there's no gray in my hair, right? I've had the privilege to work with 8 ministers responsible for business, small business, commerce, industry, etc. And I can attest that there have been very few who understood business. That's the truth. There have been very few who understood business. I'm not going to tell you who they are, but I will say that the next speaker is one who understands business. She has, as you know, been the head of a business support organization herself and been in the trenches, as they say, lobbying for her constituents. So she brings a breath of fresh air to the conversation and to the role as someone who understands business and can therefore identify with us with the various areas that we we want to see improvements in, that we're lobbying for, and so on. So it is my pleasure and privilege at this time to welcome Senator the Honourable Lisa Cummins to come and bring her remarks and to officially declare Small Business Week open. Senator.
Thank you very much, Dr. Holder. Protocol has definitely fully been established a couple of times. So I want to begin, first of all, by thanking you for having me here. Another Small Business Week. It never gets old. It keeps getting better and better every year, both from on the other side of the fence as a business support advocate myself, a member of the private sector in a different incarnation, and now as a policymaker in this incarnation. So it is for those reasons that I want to begin my comments tonight. You should take your seats. That I want to begin my comments tonight with a little bit of a story. And I want to talk about a young woman. I'm going to give her a fictitious name. Let's call her Marissa. Marissa runs a small craft and a souvenir business out of Christchurch, maybe around the Oysters area. Anybody familiar with that? And for many years, Marissa's main market was drawn from the tourism sector. I would imagine you would know I would call on that a little bit too. But when the pandemic struck, 2019, 2020 came around, her sales collapsed literally overnight. The world as she once knew it was no longer a real thing. But she didn't give up, like so many small businesses represented here today. She opened an online shop. She started marketing through Instagram and WhatsApp. She partnered with a courier service to be able to ship her products all over the world. Do any of us know companies that just popped up overnight online on Instagram and they're all running online shops? They're familiar to us, right? Her first international sale, Marissa's that is, went to a customer in Toronto. Then she got another one in London. Then she got a repeat order from a customer in New York. So all of a sudden, she's trading across borders. But her core business here is no longer where it started. If you were to talk to Marissa, she will tell you a couple of things. She will tell you, first of all, and I think her story will resonate with you, it has not been easy. Has it been? It has not been easy. She will tell you that she struggled with high online payments because of high fees. She will tell you that in many instances, shipping costs, in some instances, which increased during that period by 500%, at a minimum 200%, erased all of her profits. She will tell you that when she tried to understand digital rules for selling abroad, it all looked like gibberish. It was overwhelming and she just could not find her way. But she found new possibilities. She'd gone into an online space. She had reimagined herself and she was a personification of resilience. Using AI, she then was able to figure out how to get her business to thrive in a new digital age. Those things that she was able to accomplish are fine. They're great. But there's more. If we can't get the simple everyday things of doing business sorted, and they're not easy in the way that they should be, then some of those more complex things seem even further out of reach. One of the first things that she talked about was the ability, and I'm happy to have Capita and Republic and those guys here, the difficulties of working with the banks and the financial institutions. We need to make it easier. And I'm happy that ICAB is here, because one of the things that we have thrown out a challenge to them to work with us this year on, and we have some draft TRRs that have been completed, is to make sure that together with the Bankers Association and ICAB, that we're able to navigate what exactly is needed to help businesses like Marissa's to finance, refinance, and to be able to navigate the banking system. Is it that each small business needs to go through the same hurdles that large, complex corporate structures do? You need to be able to tell us, and let's make it easier for businesses to navigate. So what I've described to you is not unique. Many of you in this room have had very similar experiences, even in different sectors. But it is also the story of small businesses across the Caribbean. So under the theme today, I wanted to take a moment to think about and to share with you how we could possibly address some of these issues. And the theme for this week, Navigating Business in the Age of AI and Digital Trade, covers two related but separate themes. There's AI on the one hand, and there's the digital trade on the other hand. And in another few minutes, I want to be able to use that time to share with you how I see them coming together. Small businesses, and Dr. Holder will tell you she has led this charge. There is none like her in the Barbados or even in the Caribbean. She has been in the vanguard of advocating for small businesses. She is unrivaled. And as a result of her advocacy, we have bodies of research that have been able to tell us what the small business community represents. And you are, without doubt, based on the data, the largest percentage of the business community, and you are the heartbeat of the business community in this country. But you represent more than percentages. You represent families. You represent our culture, our resilience. You are you are everybody. You are the people who live next door to us. But you face some challenges that everyone else doesn't face. High operating costs, as Marissa experienced, restricted access to finance that I've just challenged the banking sector on, limited market reach in some instances, exposure to climate change, and in many instances, external shocks. When other countries sneeze, we catch a cold. So in 2025, in September, the Small Business Association has been, again, that stalwart advocate. And they have established a theme that takes us where we need to go next. We're facing a dual revolution, friends. We have the revolution of AI on the one hand, transforming productivity, innovation, and crafting the future of work. And then we have the revolution of digital trade, breaking down barriers, opening markets. These are some of the things that were once unimaginable, or in some instances were simply not used well. And for Barbados and the countries across the Caribbean, these are two forces that create opportunity and challenge altogether. Let me be clear about the two sides of the coin. One, the promise. AI can automate processes, reduce costs, and improve productivity. Digital trade will allow that craft producer, that small business, Marissa, in Christchurch and St. Philip, to sell to a supplier in Stockholm, or a young Barbadian developer to reach a client in Toronto or London, like Marissa did. Our creative industries, we just come out of CariFesta. We have made a commitment, and we've already started to engage with the National Cultural Foundation so that close to the end of September, we will be bringing together all of the partners who worked in the business space. Trust Fund in particular, they sent an entire team one full day to the Grand Market, and we will be pulling together all of the local businesses to see how, with the Ministry of Business, the fund access and trust loans, and all of our development partners, and with the Small Business Association, we can create business models that help us to use digital trade, as Prime Minister has already announced, but we want to ready you for that space and for that platform, and we will be doing that this month. We want to be able to address the things that go along with digital trade, cybersecurity. Everybody is a clone, and everybody's doing some junk online. And we want to make sure that we can protect your investments. These are some of the challenges. but to navigate the promise while guarding against the peril is also our imperative. Around the world, there are countries that are already doing much of what we are talking about and what your theme aims to talk about. Canada has a digital adoption program, and they're focusing on SMEs modernizing their operations with grants and advisory support. India and Brazil are doing some interesting things as well with instant payments, much like BIM-Pay, but going a little bit further. Singapore's SMEs, they have a Go Digital platform that allows curated solutions and mentors to help SMEs to grow. Kenya, Brazil, and India are investing in AI skills, indigenous research, and innovation hubs. For many countries around the world, the message is clear. With the right systems, small firms, small businesses can leapfrog into the global economy. Our international institutions are doing the same. The WTO, the World Bank, IFC, IMF, UNCTAD, ECLAC, they're all investing in various support systems to help SMEs. So I want us to close with a couple of thoughts as to what Barbados has an opportunity to do as the Small Business Association launches its week under this particular theme. I'm throwing out the challenges to a number of us, myself included, because in preparing for tonight, Dr. Holder, I prepared the speech, but I also created a note, a brief for my own team with a call to action to them. These are the things that we need to be able to deliver as policy implementation activities. So we need to build digital guardrails. We need to write the rules of digital trade for Barbados, including championing a CARICOM digital trade chapter, which allows us to harmonize e-signatures, e-invoicing, consumer protection, and data flows. We need to advocate for SME carve-outs in WTO negotiations so that global rules reflect small economy realities. We need to be able to publish a Barbados AI starter rulebook to help guide SMEs. MAP EU in particular, because we have an economic partnership agreement and we trade a lot with Europe, an EU AI Act compliance timeline for our exporters to launch with our business community, to going beyond sponsorship, to be able to launch with our business community an AI skills voucher scheme to subsidize MSME upskilling. We need also with our financing partners to establish a Barbados Digital SME Fund, blending grants and concessional loans, offering tax credits to businesses investing in approved digital solutions. For policymakers, we need to build the infrastructure. We need to work on harmonizing the regional rules to pair governance with enablement and not with frustration. For the business sector, we need to open supply chains to SMEs. We need to pay small suppliers promptly, governments too. We need to provide mentorship and co-fund training. For technology partners, we need to design affordable, small island-ready tools, train entrepreneurs in AI and e-commerce, ensure transferability, transparency, and interoperability for the small business community. Digitize one process at a time. We've established it's overwhelming. We cannot do it all at once. Use AI responsibly as a co-pilot, but not as a replacement. Expand into regional markets before scaling globally. For the Small Business Association, I had a challenge for you too. Haven't left you out. Be the digital navigator. Provide guidance. Curate a trusted vendor list. Run a digital help desk to support the community. Champion training. Partner with universities and tech firms to deliver AI and digital literacy workshops. Represent the SME voices in those CARICOM and those WTO spaces that I've just mentioned where we need to have that advocacy. Facilitate finance, and we commit to doing so on our part from the ministry side, in particular with regard to fund access and trust loans. Connect members to the digital SME fund once it is established, and mentor access to concessional loans. Promote regional collaboration. Build a Caribbean SME knowledge network with sister associations and make that global. For the Caribbean, with the right digital rails, modern trade rules and skills, Caribbean SMEs can expand exports, energize our creative industries to tell our stories, drive regional integration, build businesses, create generational wealth that we pass on to those who come behind us. But without action, SMEs will continue to face compliant costs that they cannot meet, connectivity gaps that they cannot bridge, payment frictions that they cannot overcome. We cannot wait for that to change. We have to either change it or lead it, but those are our only two options. In closing, the world is not waiting for us. AI and digital trade are rewriting the rules of business in real time. This is our moment to act. I commit that government under the Ministry of Energy and Business will lay the rails and help to write the rules. We will advocate with you. We will open the doors to ensure that you are sitting at all the right tables alongside us as stakeholder partners. Businesses, you need to open the doors and mentor SMEs. Technology partners, Liberty Business and others, you need to adapt the solutions that meet our realities. Entrepreneurs, you will need to continue to innovate boldly. And the Small Business Association, you will need to guide, train, and advocate for SMEs every step of the way. If we work together, Barbados and the Caribbean will not simply participate in this space that I've described. We have the ability to lead it. And if you were in any doubt, look at what we did over the last 10 days right here at home. Make no mistake about it. What we just concluded here in Carifesta is not what was done in 2017 and what was done in 2019 and what was done in any other jurisdiction. This was just raising the bar so phenomenally that we as Barbadians should be incredibly proud of what we have been able to do. And that should tell us every single day we get up that Barbadians and Barbados must never be afraid to lead and to innovate and to dream and to go bigger than has been done before. So with that confidence as Barbadians and with the vision that we have laid out, that collective commitment that I have called for, I declare Small Business Week open officially, and I'm challenging you to walk into that new future that we can craft and must craft together.